everybody. 521 week 6. You ready? Let's do it. You're not ready? Okay, just saying. All right. Digital divide. Digital divide is the main amount of reading and topic that we'll be talking about in week 6. So there are a handful of articles. If you Google digital divide, and I encourage you to do that, go ahead and pause me right now if you'd like to. It tended to peak around 2011. So a lot of the research and a lot of the Google query results around digital divide show up around 2011. So a lot's changed with technology since then. So go into that knowing that this is an important topic, that it's still timely, but that particular term has kind of sunsetted. So we'll talk about that a tiny bit, but as long as you can have your brain wrapped around that, know that it's still amazing resources. So closingthegap.com is one of the resources that is linked to. Still great resources. It looks kind of a cheesy website, but still good. Educatorstechnology.com, still good. Know that a lot of the stuff on this website are paid promotional items. So, yeah, it's not just an educator. It's like, hey, here's something cool. It's, hey, here's something that someone paid me to write about. But again, still good stuff and a decent amount of stuff around assistive technology and the digital divide. So it goes back a while. There is an article, The New Digital Divide, that talks about Cyber Monday and what that looks like. That's a Google Doc. And know that the discussion questions in week 6, we have another forum post this week, invites you to talk a bit more about the digital divide. There's an Edutopia article around it from August 2011. So again, it's been there for a while. There is a link, though, to pewinternet.org. I would encourage you to go to the Pew Research Center, PEW, Pew. Sounds like something my 3.5-year-old would say, pew, pew. We should watch Star Wars, maybe. I don't know. But there continues to be a lot of really good results on pewinternet.org. I would encourage you to, if you want to know kind of what the latest and greatest is, to focus on that. And all these resources are great, just some are outdated. So that forum is going to say, talk about the digital divide, explain your understanding of it, how it can be characterized. A few of the articles, I will warn you, talk about the need for wireless versus wired internet and why we still need wired internet. In the discussion forum, I would encourage you to reflect on that, talk about that, because I don't think that is nearly the case that it originally was. I would look at, when we talk about kind of what technology we have, what technology we don't have, this is going in two interesting questions, or two interesting directions. The first one is when we talk about the singularity, the idea, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago in our synchronous session, the idea that and we will have perfect knowledge, that we will have instant access to everything. Not just like, oh, I can take out my phone and I have an iPhone 7 Plus and you have an iPhone 4. Not like that, but the idea where we'll have some sort of wearable, some sort of implant, some sort of something. And some of us will have it, and some of us will either have a lesser version of it or will not have that right away, right? So what does our classroom look like when some students have contact lenses that give them instant access and some don't? That, or some version of that, is going to happen in our careers. So I think that is, when we think about the digital divide, that's like, dude, when we talk about ethics, right, that is a discussion forum question. So I would love to hear you guys go in that direction. And the other idea is just, if we have bring your own device, what does it look like when some students have better devices than others? I think we're at the point where nearly all of our students have access to devices. It used to be we had it and we didn't, but now it's we have better, we have older. So what does that look like, right? It's interesting, but I think that where you should put your effort after kind of reading through those articles is when we have this instant access with whatever it's going to be, right? Like Google Glass came and went. Snapchat Spectacles are still here, but those are still kind of fun and cute. But being able to just I don't know what it's going to look like. Some sort of neural network, something, whatever. There's some crazy stuff when you read about the singularity, and its implications in education are crazy. Um, Go down that rabbit hole. Not as much digital divide. That's more 2011, but it's still really good stuff. So let's talk about some assignments, shall we? You have due at the end of this week. I'll talk about this week at the very, very end, what this week is, because it's weird with spring break. Assignment number 6 is Assistive Tools in-Service Presentation. So the idea is to take your inventory sheet from that Try Something New assignment. Remember that? Week 4, we were so young. Your goal is to create about 10 slides as if you were training teachers on how to use this assistive technology tool. I have view-only access to the Google Doc that is the assignment. I don't get to change any of that assignment, but I would encourage you to have those bullet points, those notes, the kind of talking points you want in Presenter Tools down at the bottom, and try and make your slides visual. Not a lot of text. Some of my favorite slides, some of the most memorable slides I've had, have less than 5 words on them. You still want to have those to get full credit. You need to have like some content on it. But the trick is that content can go in speaker notes. So Google Slides is by far the easiest way to share with me, to share with other people. This is the type of thing that you could totally publish as a blog post on your own, or just tweet out and make it public and say like, really cool, slides, and it would be super cool. So that assignment is due at the end of this week. You have a couple big things coming up at the end of week 7. You have your 3-day lesson plan. So that's going to be like as detailed as possible. Or my way of thinking about it is someone who has never taught in their lives could look at your lesson plans and it would be an awesome lesson. So if you do that, that 3-day lesson plan will be a home run. And then that ePortfolio, I really, really, really hope that you are continuing to work on that and that you've made good progress, that you're keeping up with it. At the end of week 6, please add items and resources for the communications technology tools and for the digital divide. That ePortfolio should be mostly done, even though you're not submitting it, it should be mostly done. It's one of those things that should be done every week as we go. So, last thing, calendar. So you're hopefully watching this around April 9th, April 10th. Technically, we have spring break the week of April 10th to the 16th. So if that is your spring break, super easy. Just take the week off. If it's not, if it's the week before or the week after, you can kind of judge a week as long as you get the discussion forum questions in from week 6 by April 23rd. So feel free to try and match it so that you get kind of a week to unplug whenever your spring break lines up. It might not line up with the week that it is with Concordia, but take a week to yourself, and yeah, we'll take care of the grading and whatever. If you're concerned about it, shoot me a quick email, and the answer is yes. Take a week off during your spring break, and the world will be great. My spring break is this coming week, starting the week of April 10th. So I'm going to try and be mostly off email. I'll still be checking, I'll still be replying, but we will be out of town. So my ability to log into Blackboard is limited. I'll be able to email on my phone, answer questions with that, but Blackboard just doesn't play well. I don't know why they don't have like just a rad mobile app for instructors, but dude, it's not easy to use, and a lot of editing and clickable stuff is just awful on my end for being able to look at stuff and check whatever. So just please know that going in up until like April 18th when week 6 actually does start. So I'm posting this video ahead of time so that if you aren't off this week, like if you're, quick example, right? And if you're good, just I'll see you later, right? Close out the video. Um, but if you're off the week of April 17th, you can actually do week 6 this coming week, April 10th. Just kind of flip those two and you're good. Anyway, you guys are smart and brilliant and you'll figure it out. That is what's going on with week 6. And hope you enjoy it. Hopefully you fall down that rabbit hole a little bit talking about the digital divide and the singularity and wearable technology and where we're headed with that, because that's super interesting. All right, happy week 6.